Welcome to another episode of Should You Take That Case with your host, Lisa Wade, your friendly neighborhood legal nurse consultant, owner of Wade Nurse Consultants, and creator of our private LinkedIn community, the Attorney Medical Record Resource Group. That is where we get all of our stellar attorney guests. The goal of our show is to be a resource for legal professionals who pursue medical cases by sharing their experience and insights as defense or as plaintiff attorneys. You can catch prior episodes at www.wadenurseconsultants.com/blog, on LinkedIn and on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. Now here's the host of Should You Take That Case, Lisa Wade.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome. It's a brand new Medical Record Monday, and welcome to a brand new episode of Should You Take That Case? Yay. I am your friendly neighborhood legal nurse consultant and your host. I am Lisa Wade, owner of Wade Nurse Consultants. Think of us when you have tons of medical records that you need translated into normal human language, easily understood by judges and juries. Visit our website, wadenurseconsultants.com. And I am not only the owner of Wade Nurse Consultants, but I am also the creator of our wonderfully private LinkedIn group, the Attorney Medical Record Resource Group. That is where we get all of our wonderfully stellar attorney guests. That's where they come from. And we use this as an opportunity to get to know one another. And we're going to do that today with baileykott. But first, before we bring Bailey out, we are going to scoot over to the comment section, see who is visiting us live today. Or even if you're catching us on the replay, I want you to put an A into that chat if you're an attorney, a P if you're a paralegal, and if you are a part of a wonderful group that I love, Women-Owned Law, put a W inside of that chat box so we can see you and say hello. Women-Owned Law, let me just tell you, is a wonderfully groundbreaking group connecting and advancing women legal entrepreneurs with their primary mission of being and empowering women attorneys to achieve success in the business of law. Let me remind everybody to save the date for their third annual symposium, which takes place on April the 19th. It's coming up soon at the Thomas R. Klein Institute of Trial Advocacy at 12th and Chestnut. Go visit us at womenownedlaw.org to learn a little bit more. And now let me take a look. Oh, we do have people. There's Lisa Saperstein, is an attorney. Hi, Lisa. Oh, and there's our friend from New York, attorney Stephen Haber. Thanks for coming. Glad to have you. But now it is time to bring out our guest for today, baileykott from New York. And I'm going to bring Bailey out and see if she's going to introduce herself a little bit. Let's see. All right. Hey, Bailey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Tell us a little bit about you, baileykott from New York.
Yes, so I am an associate with the law firm of Getz, Schenker, Blee, and Wiederhorn. I practice in both New York and New Jersey as an insurance defense attorney. I handle a wide variety of civil litigation matters surrounding general negligence, automobile accidents, premises liability, workers' compensation, and labor law. So happy to be here on Medical Monday because it's not a regular day if I'm not looking at medical records.
I gotcha. I understand that. And it's the same for me. That's my go-to place, medical records, almost every day. So I'm so glad that you're here, and we're going to talk about how medical records pops up during your regular business day. But first, we want to hear a little bit more about you. What got you in to this area of practice? What got you to be an attorney? Tell us your whole story.
So I am the youngest of three. Both of my siblings went to law school. Hitting the end of my college years, my brother and sister inspired me to take the LSAT as well. When I got to law school, I wasn't exactly sure what field I wanted to be in. So when it came to finding that first summer internship, I was throwing the net wide a bit. And through the power of small town connections and women helping women, a woman who had gone to high school with my sister and I referred me to an internship with a workers' comp defense firm in New Jersey. I started there with expectations of getting experience, finding out a new practice area, and just getting my feet wet with what it was like to do that type of law. Turns out I loved it. I had a great experience and I learned a lot. I ended up staying throughout law school and a little bit after that as well when I began my career.
Oh, well, there's something to be said for casting a wide net. All right. Well, tell us a little bit about, I know you're a defense attorney, and it's not that you decide whether you should take a case or not, but what are you going to do when that case lands on your desk? How are you going to handle it? Tell us a little bit about that.
Right, exactly. So unlike my friends on the plaintiff side, when a case lands on my desk, I'm not picking whether or not I want to take it. I'm looking at it saying, what am I going to do here? What do we have that we know right now? What can I do that's in the best cost interest of my clients? What's best for them cost wise? And so I begin looking at what are the facts? What's our liability position? Do we have an understanding of any pre-existing conditions already or any prior accidents? Any of that initial information that I can use to say, hey, is this a case that we should settle off the bat? You know, liability is bad, but we have an understanding of what the medical situation is. Or is this a case that we need to really fight tooth and nail on? The way I've described it to my friends and family who don't understand insurance cases or personal injury cases, as people might know it a little better, is insurance works for a reason. And when someone gets hurt and they go through the insurance process, usually everything works out. You either get your compensation, your medical treatment, you move on, you never think about it again. When a case is ending up in a defense attorney's hands, it's usually because there's something very wrong with that case. And that could be something from a potential fraudulent situation, a extreme injury where there may be multiple parties at play and you need to determine who's really at fault, or the instance of someone broke their pinky and they might think that their pinky is worth a little bit more than what it is worth. And so that's usually when the cases get in our hands. So that's why it really comes down to how am I going to handle it? Because again, these insurance companies are seeing a lot of cases and we don't want to waste a lot of time or money fighting over that broken pinky when there are bigger fish to fry in the larger scale accidents.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds like you're trying to get everybody on the same page.
Exactly. Whatever can be fair and just and in everyone's best interest.
All right. That sounds like an excellent plan. All right. Now,
it's a great plan.
So when those records start pouring in, and is there a way that you handle or process a special routine you have for dealing with those medical records?
Yes, so I'm extremely hands-on, a little bit type A, as most attorneys probably identify. So I like to review all of my medical records myself. That's when I get my foundation for where the case is going to go. Like I was saying, you want to know where you're going to go from the case from the beginning, because when you have that initial strategy, it makes the defense of a case a lot easier. You can pivot when new information comes in, but you usually have an idea where you're going. So every record, every bill, when those come in, I want to be reviewing them and updating my clients, letting them know how it impacts the case, as well as what we can do based on what we've received. One of the things that I love to point out to people when reviewing medical records is looking for hidden gems. A lot of people look at the diagnosis, they look at recommended treatment plans, if any surgeries or injections happened. But when you're really getting into the thick of it with some of those medical records, that's when you find my hidden gems. When you find out that they had treated at this provider before 5 years ago, that they are still working as a home health aide or a truck driver, something that may be a little more heavy duty of a job. Looking for, that car accident that they forgot to report to their attorney, but didn't forget to report to their doctor. That's where you really want to be getting in there, because then you can do further discovery from there. You can get more records. You have information to confront plaintiffs with at their depositions to really get to the bottom of it and say, you reported this to your doctor. You're saying in your interrogatories that you didn't have any prior treatment. What's the real answer here? So the best thing I would recommend is investing time in those medical records. I know that's my MO whenever they come in. And I would encourage other people to do the same.
Well, excellent, Bailey, because that's my MO too. Whether I am defense or plaintiff, the records are the records. All the dates, all the diagnoses, all the treatments, I tell all of it. So everybody gets all the information that they need. So I'm right with you.
I knew you would be.
All right. Well, how about, once you are in the thick of those records, do you have any pet peeves, something you find grotesquely frustrating when dealing with those tons of medical records that come your way?
I'd say it's for everyone, it's got to be timing, to review the records as well as you want to in the best interest of your client and for the sake of the case. That's a time investment, and you need to have a concise plan on how you plan on attacking those records to make the best use of your time, but also timing standpoint of, these records can come overnight or months waiting. You're following up with providers for a long time. You're following up with a counsel for authorizations to get those records. I've seen many cases where I have to delay a deposition because I don't have all the medical records. It doesn't do anyone any service to go into a deposition when you don't have all the records that you could have going into it. And like I said, those depositions are crucial when you have those prior medical records and you can go for those hidden gems. It wouldn't be the first time that someone went to a deposition and some plaintiff remembered an accident that they had or remembered that they're still working when you confront them with those records. So the biggest issue is certainly time, whether it's investing your own time in reviewing the records or simply being able to get them, because as easy as I wish it was that there was one service place where we could all say, here's my authorization, give me the records, in an hour you have them. The world's not that quick just yet.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. Having a complete set of medical records is a wonderful thing. It's hard to proceed if you don't. And it's problematic if you don't know or realize something's missing.
Exactly. And sometimes you get records. I just saw this in a case the other day where they said we have all the records from 2018 to 2021, and then there's a year missing in between where they refer to treatment and it's clear that records are missing. So even when you think you got them, you always got to double check that they're really there.
Oh, I like you. You are very diligent.
I certainly try to be.
All right. Well, you have given so much good information so far. Is there anything that you've missed? Any piece of advice that you would give to newbie or veteran attorneys when they are handling medical cases like this?
I'd say I have two pieces of advice. The first one I would say is, even though after a while, even when you're doing this for years or decades, and you feel like you're a doctor at this point when you've reviewed so many medical records, trust your gut. If you're looking at a record and you see something that you don't necessarily know what the definition is, go Google it, figure it out. And sometimes go to Google Images, because you might see a name of a fracture and think, oh, it's not that big of a deal. And then you Google what that looks like. And it's a very serious fracture or surgery that has taken place. And you don't want to underestimate those things. So always trust your gut if you feel like you don't recognize a certain surgery, diagnosis, treatment plan, whatever it may be, because you never want to be the person showing up the least prepared. I had a great boss that had once told me, you want to be the most knowledgeable person in the room at every deposition, hearing, conference, you name it. You want to be the person in the room where they look to you and say, well, when was that? Or who is that person? What was that diagnosis? You need to know everything. And it is, hard work is the key to success. And that comes from looking at those records. And then my second piece of advice would be invest your time in training, not only training yourself, but if you're on a team, making sure your team is on the same page, or if you're utilizing a paralegal or associate to help you review your records, make sure that they have the same understanding of a record that you would have going into it. Set them down and take that 30 minutes to an hour and show them what you would look for and how you would report it, and whether it be certain things to look for or that you only want certain information. Investing that 30 minutes to an hour once saves you both hours down the road, and it puts your client's best interest at heart, because you know that those records are being reviewed the same way that you would want them reviewed, and you're not doubling the work or doing it twice.
Mm-hmm. I like the idea of having a regular process and a routine to hit each record the same way, and having everybody on the team on the same page. So nothing gets missed. I like that. Well, you are given wonderful knowledge nuggets today, and now is the time where we have time for a little Q&A. Are you ready to answer some questions from our viewing audience?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, while everybody's getting their questions together and getting ready to put them into the comment section, it's what I call time for a little sponsor break right now. And let me tell you a little bit, and everybody a little bit, about Wade Nurse Consultants and what we do. Now, without a review and summary of medical records, it might be harder to know if you should take that case, or in Bailey's case, how you should attack that case. And I give, at Wade Nurse Consultants, attorneys a 1 to 2 page synopsis and opinion regarding the merits of their medical cases, by using my 30 plus years of nursing experience to make quick work of those medical case screenings. So if you're watching this and you have your own nurse paralegal on the payroll, this isn't for you. But if you do have a pile of case screenings on your desk, a giant backlog that you need help attacking, here's what you do next. Right now, we are offering a free 20-minute medical record strategy call to help you hone an efficient, timely, and cost-effective routine around your medical cases. So scoot over to the description box of this YouTube channel and find the link to schedule a chat and schedule that call. Now it is time to get back to Baileykott for her Q&A. And let's see, I think we do have one question so far. Let's get it over here, and we're going to read it out to you. It's Stephen Haber. Hey, Stephen, from New York. And Stephen wants to know, don't you find that sometimes you need, or it would be a benefit to have a nurse's input on complex, heavy medical cases? That's what Stephen wants to know. What do you have for him?
Absolutely. I think, you would know, Stephen, we all use our experts, whether it's for liability or damages. Having somebody who has medical experience, as much as I want to think I'm a doctor, I'm only a lawyer. So if I could have someone with that medical expertise to, make sure I'm on the right track, I'm viewing things the right way, or give a little more analysis that I may not be able to provide with life experiences that they do have, I think that would be extremely beneficial.
All right. There's your answer, Stephen. I hope it's clear for you. So let's see. Do we have any other questions right now? And no, we don't. But I do have a solution for that. If I'm going to put inside the description box of this YouTube channel your contact information, Bailey. Great. So if anybody is catching us on the replay and they have an urgent question for you, they can reach out and ask you themselves. How's that sound?
That sounds great. Thank you, Lisa.
Wonderful. So since I do also have one other question for you.
Yes.
And that is, will you come back again for another interview?
Oh, absolutely. This was fantastic. And I'm so excited to check out your new newsletter. You're doing a lot of great stuff and getting a lot of people in touch. So I appreciate you letting me come on, and I would welcome the chance to come back happily.
Oh, all right. Well, guess what? I have started a new expert newsletter. I am interviewing experts just like I'm interviewing you, and attorneys can get a chance to hear how those experts are going to sound and going to work a deposition. And I'm going to put inside the description box of this YouTube channel the link to that newsletter. So you can sign up, and you can sign up, and everybody can sign up, and let me know if you find it a beneficial way to find your experts. Yay. Well,
absolutely.
Thanks for the leg up, Baileykott. This is appreciated.
No problem.
Well, we are going to be, looks like we don't have any more questions at the moment, but we're going to be, looks like we're winding down a little bit. And, but before we go, I just want to remind everybody about that Women-Owned Law. Our third symposium is happening this month, April 19th in Philly. Visit us at womenownedlaw.org to get all the details about that symposium. And now I also want to remind everybody to like this YouTube channel, like this show, subscribe to this YouTube channel, Lisa Wade, LNC, and email me if you have any legal nurse consulting questions, Lisa at wadenurseconsultants.com. But tune in again next week, Monday, 5:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a brand new episode of Should You Take That Case? Thanks for coming, Bailey. You're wonderful.
Thanks for having me. I hope you have a great rest of your week.
Oh, you too. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Thanks for watching and listening to another episode of Should You Take That Case with your host, Lisa Wade, your friendly neighborhood legal nurse consultant, owner of Wade Nurse Consultants, and creator of our private LinkedIn community, the Attorney Medical Record Resource Group. That is where we get all of our stellar attorney guests. The goal of our show is to be a resource for legal professionals who pursue medical cases by sharing their experiences and insights as defense or as plaintiff attorneys. You can catch prior episodes at www.wadenurseconsultants.com/blog, on LinkedIn, and on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. Thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel and sharing this show with others.